Hi everyone, welcome to Bloggers on Web. It's data engineering on Microsoft Azure DP 203. Let's get started. We will discuss questions and answers for DP 203 exams. You have two Azure Data Factory instances named ADFdev and ADFprod. ADFdev connects to an Azure DevOps Git repository and you publish changes from the main branch of the Git repository to the ADFdev. Now you need to deploy the artifacts from ADFdev to ADFprod. What should you do first? The first, what we do from the Azure DevOps, we create a release pipeline. You are developing a solution that will stream to the Azure Stream Analytics. The solution will have both streaming data and reference data. Which input type should you use for the reference data? So for reference data, we always use Azure Blob Storage type. You are designing an Azure Stream Analytics job to process incoming events from the sensors. In retail environment, you need to process the events to produce a running average of shopper counts during the previous 15 minutes calculated at 5 minute intervals. Which type of window should you use? So here we will use the hopping window. You are monitoring an Azure Stream Analytics jobs by using metrics in Azure. You discover that during the last 12 hours, the average watermark delay is constantly greater than the configured late arrival tolerance. What is a possible cause of this behavior? So the possible cause is the job lack the resources to process the volume of incoming data. You plan to build a structured streaming solution in Azure Databricks. The solution will count the new events in 5 minute intervals and report only events that arrive during the interval. The output will be sent to a Delta Lake table. Which output mode should you use? We will use here append. You plan to create an Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL pool. You need to minimize the time it takes to identify queries that return confidential information as defined by the company's data privacy regulation and the users who executed the queues. Which two components should you include in the solution? Each correct answer present part of the solution. So first thing that we do here is the sensitivity, that is the classification label applied to columns that contains confidential information. And second is the audit log that is sent to the log analytic space. You have an Azure Data Factory version 2 v2 resource named DF1. The DF1 contains a linked service. You have an Azure Key Vault named the Vault 1 that contains an encryption key named Key1. You need to encrypt DF1 by using the Key1. What should you do first? So first what we do, we remove the link service from the DF1. You are designing an Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL pool. You need to ensure that you can audit access to personally identified information, that is the PII. What should you include in the solution? We will include the sensitivity classification. You have a data warehouse in the Azure Synapse Analytics. You need to ensure that the data in the data warehouse is encrypted at rest. What should you enable? We enable the transparent data encryption, that is known as the TDE. The Databricks cluster supports multiple concurrent users. Yeah, this is right. Thank you for your support.